The following program is produced by students of the Brian Lamb School of Communication at Purdue University.
On this edition of Fast Track, we'll show you a variety of ways you can get in the Christmas spirit without going far from home.
We'll also tell you about a new invention from one of our very own Purdue professors. These stories and more are coming up on this week's episode of Fast Track.
Thank you for tuning in to Fast Track. I'm Taylor Briscoe.
And I'm Rachel Bibler.
This week, we're coming to you from Elliott Hall of Music, where Purdue Musical Organizations is working hard in preparation for the annual Christmas show. Their first performance open to the public is this Saturday at 4 p.m., and it's sure to be a can't-miss show.
That's for sure. This year's show is packed full of fun surprises, fun dances, and beautiful singing. Tickets can be purchased online or at the Purdue box office.
And if you're looking for more ways to enjoy the holiday season, the Hahn Family Mansion invites you to come celebrate with them.
Located in the greater Lafayette community, the Hahn Mansion showcases paintings from all over the state of Indiana.
They also have a tour to show visitors the beautiful mansion and all of its Christmas decorations. Our very own Rachel Bibler was at the mansion this past week. Let's take a look.
As the holiday season is approaching, many museums are giving holiday tours. However, this museum might grab your holiday spirit.
It was the Connecticut State Building at the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis. And then after the fair, it was auctioned off and moved here to Lafayette, Indiana by rail. And so in 1905, another architect was hired and this house was rebuilt here in Lafayette. This is the best historic Indiana art collection anywhere. There's just wonderful paintings here. All of the important Indiana artists are represented, including George Winter, T.C. Steele, J. Otis Adams, and many others. So that's one of my favorites.
I like the uniqueness of the fact that it's a museum of about 4 different kinds of collections, but they're all Indiana pieces. And I think that's unusual. You can go in a big house and you can see European pieces, but it's unusual to see homegrown Indiana. And I love pottery. I love ceramics. So that was a bonus.
More than an art museum, a tour of the mansion is truly a rare experience. Fantastic furniture, wonderful art, and important porcelain in a historical setting on a grand scale. It's an experience you won't soon forget. If you would like more information about the holiday tours at the Hahn Mansion, you can visit their website at hahnmansion.org. You can see this for the dates and times offered. Reporting for Fast Track, Rachel Bibler.
A Purdue professor is working on an invention that could improve driver safety, the visually impaired, and everyday activities.
Fast Track's Cameron Harden met with the inventor to see how the new technology could change our everyday lives.
A new smart camera has been developed at Purdue and could automate cars, home security settings, and much more. The new invention, called TerraDeep, can teach itself to recognize objects.
Really long-term goal is to give machines the same visual capabilities as humans have to identify objects and go through their everyday life.
Co-founder and Purdue professor Eugenio Colocciolo has been working in the field of artificial vision for many years. He says the key to his invention is in our brains.
A lot of the technology is inspired based on what we know about neuroscience of the brain, and also what we know about, our abilities, really.
TerraDeep has received most of its interest from the automotive industry and helping with hands-free driving. The cars we hear about today, such as Google cars, use a different, more expensive technology than the TerraDeep.
And cars to really more and more be able to drive you autonomously, or at least help the driver, assist the driver, by telling them, hey, there's something you should be looking at right now.
Along with the technical side of the invention, the camera has many other ways to help people. Founders hope that blind people will be able to take advantage of the new invention.
Actually, our capabilities, you can go on a cell phone and it can tell you, if you point a cell phone to an object, it will tell you what it is. So this is really valuable for a blind person, right? Or it can provide acoustic feedback.
In the end, Colocciolo hopes people's lives become easier.
People really care about their family and their home, and they want them to be safe, right? And there's a device that can look for you like you would if you were there it's definitely of use.
Reporting on Purdue's campus for Fast Track, Cameron Harden.
Stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll show you how Purdue plans to send off our graduating seniors in their last couple weeks of school.
We've also got your first look at weather. Back after this.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We are all Boilermakers, but we're also much more. We're history makers, exploring the farthest reaches of our universe, often when strapped to a rocket. We are hope makers, rebuilders of Haitian cityscapes who ensure they'll now withstand any disaster. We are difference makers, developers of drought-resistant crops that just might end world hunger. The fact is, what we make moves the world forward. We are Purdue, makers all.
I am an American.
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 That's the way most of us put it, just matter of factly.
They're plain words, those four. You could write them on your thumbnail
or sweep them across a bright autumn sky. But remember, too, that they are more than just words.
They are a way of life.
So whenever you speak them firmly.
Speak them proudly, speak them gratefully. I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am poised under pressure. I led Purdue to a come-from-behind victory in my first start. I am focused on the field and in class. I draw inspiration from the cradle of quarterbacks. I am Rob Henry, and I am a Boilermaker.
Well, welcome back. We do have a chilly night ahead, but good news, we will have lots of sunshine this weekend, as well as above average temperatures for the next few days. Heading into the night, we will see mostly clear skies, a few clouds rolling in and out of the area, but around 8 o'clock we'll be at 39 degrees, cooling down to 33 by midnight, 31 by 2 a.m. tomorrow. And then overnight lows getting down into the mid and upper 20s. We're going to see 26 for the overnight low here in Lafayette, 27 in Rensselaer and in Warsaw, 25 for the low in Kokomo, and 29 in Indianapolis. As always, we do want to share some viewer photos with you. We did have a pretty cloudy week earlier in the week with a bit of snowfall as well. We can see most of the leaves are gone from the trees around campus. We do still see a few lingering here and there, but most of all, they have gone. And from the game this past weekend, it was a chilly and pretty cloudy game, but not a whole lot of people there because it was the end of break and a chilly day, but I know I've heard it was still a pretty good time. For your weather trivia this week, the question is, what is the wind speed limit that is applied when setting athletic sprinting and jumping records? Is it A, 1 meter per second, B, 2 meters per second, C, 3 meters per second, or is it D, 4 meters per second? We'll have the details to that and the rest of your forecast when we come back with the weather.
The staff at the Elliott Hall of Music and the Purdue Musical Organizations have Christmas on the mind. The 82nd Annual Christmas Show Load-In is underway. Since the conclusion of the 81st Christmas Show last December, the Hall of Music staff has been hard at work designing elaborate set pieces and making PMO's dream become a reality. The Purdue Musical Organization has been planning, writing, and practicing every detail to make sure it's perfect.
So this show is definitely going to be a lot different than the past. In the 80th, we really did a history lesson. Last year was the 75th anniversary of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, so we did that kind of theme. And this year's theme is definitely something different. It's going to blow your mind. Everything's backwards this year. Christmas is backwards, and it's got a really interesting theme this year. Our students have been working really hard, memorizing lines and getting their getting ready for the show. The staff has really been putting in extra hours, making sure the set's been going up really well. Started in January planning for this set, and then we use it for 4 performances, and it's in the warehouses again. But Purdue Christmas Show is something on your bucket list you're not going to want to miss.
Tickets for the show are now on sale. You can get them online, at the Purdue box office, or through mail order. If you'd like to save a little money, Purdue offers students buy one, get one after Thanksgiving. So in December, come share a little bit of Christmas spirit with Purdue. For Fast Track, I'm Spencer Huffmeyer.
Well, college students are always looking for freebies and discounts in college. Purdue knows this, and every year they want to help out graduating seniors any way they can.
This year, the senior send-off was held in the Armory, and all the students who are December graduates were invited to attend. Taylor Briscoe has the story.
I'm here at the senior send-off, where not only can graduating seniors get some goodies to take home, but they also can gain information on how to stay connected to Purdue when they become an alumni. The Purdue Alumni Association hosts a senior send-off every semester for graduating seniors. Students are given a bag upon arrival to fill up with free things as they walk from booth to booth. Senior Jimmy Safransky received multiple freebies, but had 2 specific favorites.
The free hat from the John Purdue Club and the Subway. Those 2 things are probably the most important things of my day so far.
Along with vendors like Subway, many of the stations consisted of the university's individual colleges. Erica Murphy from the Krannert School of Management says this event is the perfect opportunity to engage with students about their future alumni status.
We want students to be able to maintain a strong connection and a strong affinity to the schools, but to also stay connected to each other, and this is a great place for us to be able to do that.
Although the booths of the colleges and vendors stayed busy with students throughout the event, the longest line was for a photo opportunity with Purdue's favorite mascots, Purdue Pete, the world's largest drum, and the Boilermaker Extra Special Train. As college winds down for many students, the theme of the senior send-off can be summarized in just a few words.
Boiler up, hammer down, hail Purdue.
Reporting for Fast Track, Taylor Briscoe. No holiday season can be complete without the Purdue annual Gingerbread House competition. Many hours over several weeks go into the preparation for these spectacular constructions.
From gumdrop wreaths to candy cane-lined streets, everyone is sure to find something to enjoy. Krista McEnany will give us a look at this year's competition.
Well, in just a few short days, this place will be decorated with holiday cheer, and next to all the spectacular lights and glitter on the Christmas tree will be one of my favorite events, the Gingerbread House competition. Not only do the dining halls participate in the competition, but Purdue Retail Dining also collaborate to build and enter a house of their own.
We're representing a very large number of areas, but in general, it's all the PMU restaurants that you see here they're on the ground floor in the PMU, all the satellite locations that are in education buildings. So there's quite a few of those. I think there's like 12 of those, and then all of the markets on campus and all of the grills on campus. So it's quite a bit of people that go into this.
This takes weeks of planning and preparation. These elaborate houses aren't built in just one afternoon. They pay special attention to the detail in each part and are bringing the pieces together day by day.
Today we're working on the fondant, which is a very thick icing used on cakes. So we're building kind of the details. We're doing a around the world theme. We're going to do like for the US and Canada, certain buildings like the White House, or just the general things that goes on the walls. Kind of signify each continental region that we sketched out.
Not only are these houses fun for the spectators around Purdue to see, but they also offer an enticing prize for the group who wins the competition.
So the department that wins gets $1,000 to spend collectively with the people that contributed to the event.
But prize money aside, the students can't deny that this has been an enjoyable experience.
I'm enjoying it. I think it's really fun. I like art, and I haven't done something this artistic in a while. And I also like cooking, and this is probably the closest I'll ever get to being good at it. So it's interesting, and I like working with others to make something this big. I'm just a little impatient, so I can't wait to see how it'll look when it's done.
So if you're getting impatient to see the gingerbread houses, you won't have to wait much longer. The gingerbread houses will be on display starting next Tuesday and will be up through the rest of the week, so be sure to come down and cast your vote for the best one. For Fast Track, I'm Krista McEnany.
The saxophone, bass, and percussion instruments can create a special mood that adds to the winter atmosphere.
Every Wednesday night this winter, Scotty's Brewhouse in West Lafayette is featuring a jazz group called the Danny Weiss Trio. Reporter Liz Van Ostenberg was able to catch their performance to give us an inside look.
As the holiday season rolls in here in West Lafayette, the Weiss Trio brings a special musical treat to Scotty's Brew House every Wednesday. Danny Weiss has loved music since before he could even speak and says performing jazz is in his blood.
Music is life. Life is music. The universal language, music.
The members of the trio say that they were initially drawn to jazz music growing up because it was concerned with oppressed Black America during the Civil Rights Movement, and they wanted to become adversed with this different style of music.
I guess like a foreign language that I wanted to learn. I wanted to become fluent in this language, musical language of a people in our country who were diminished and shunted aside.
And they connected jazz with this political message.
The trio performs throughout the greater Lafayette community at a variety of different establishments weekly, from La Scala, Scotty's Brew House, and Another Broken Egg, spreading their music through diners, conversations, and meals.
I mean, it's like you look around and no one seems to be listening or interested, and then, you know, out of the crowd will come someone and say, wow, you guys were great. I'm so glad you're here.
Music will always be important for the members of the Danny Weiss Trio.
Honestly, it's, other than family, everything. There's no, it's hard to even put into words. It's necessary. It's like blood going through your body.
So, it's my whole life.
It's part of breathing daily. It just really has to be there.
Music is extremely important for the members of the Weiss Trio, and they hope to share their passion for jazz with members of the Lafayette community. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Liz Van Ostenburg.
When we come back, Krista will have your full look at weather.
And we're continuing our holiday theme by seeing how one synagogue on campus is planning to celebrate Hanukkah.
That's one small step for man. One giant leap for mankind.
We are all Boilermakers, but we're also much more. We're history makers, exploring the farthest reaches of our universe, often when strapped to a rocket. We are hope makers, rebuilders of Haitian cityscapes who ensure they'll now withstand any disaster. We are difference makers, developers of drought-resistant crops that just might end world hunger. The fact is, what we make moves the world forward. We are Purdue, makers all.
I am an American.
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 That's the way most of us put it, just matter of factly.
They're plain words, those four. You could write them on your thumbnail
or sweep them across a bright autumn sky.
But remember, too, that they are more than just words.
They are a way of life.
So whenever you speak them firmly.
Speak them proudly, speak them gratefully. I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am poised under pressure. I led Purdue to a come-from-behind victory in my first start. I am focused on the field and in class. I draw inspiration from the cradle of quarterbacks. I am Rob Henry, and I am a Boilermaker.
The Festival of Lights, also known as Hanukkah, kicks off December 6th. Come light the menorah all week long at Purdue Hillel, home of Jewish Foundation for Student Religious Life.
Fast Track's Julie Villanova has the updates for Hillel's services and holiday celebrations.
Holiday season is right around the corner. Purdue Hillel Foundation of Jewish Student Life is hosting numerous events and services to celebrate Hanukkah. Purdue Hillel is getting ready for their Hanukkah celebrations to begin, starting with their first ceremony Sunday, August 6th at 7 p.m.
Hanukkah is the holiday where we commemorate the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem after it had been defiled by the Assyrian Greeks. The word Hanukkah means rededicate, and it celebrates the defeat of the Assyrian Greeks by the Maccabees, led by Judah Maccabee in 164 BCE.
The miracle of the holiday is that the sanctified oil was only supposed to last for 1 day, but it actually lasted for 8 days. If you don't have a menorah to light, you're not alone.
This year at Hillel, we're having menorah lighting every night at 7 o'clock throughout the week. It's dead week, so we're trying not to interfere too much with overall student studying, but every night at 7 o'clock we'll have the menorah lighting here. If you don't have one to light, we have plenty for you to light your own. And then stay for study break. We'll have food. We're going to watch Star Wars, the entire 6 series over 3 nights.
There will be plenty of other activities throughout the week, ranging from gift exchange, traditional jelly donuts, and potato latkes. Feel free to check out the schedule of all the Hanukkah events at PurdueHillel.org. Students love being able to take a break from studying to learn more about the holiday.
This is a really great opportunity to get to know other students, kind of get to know more about the holiday. I wasn't brought up in a very religious environment, so it's nice to come here and kind of learn more and see what different traditions people have with their families and learn from everyone else.
The burning candles signify a time of relaxation, so take a study break and come on down to Purdue Hillel to celebrate the Festival of Lights. If you want to play with the dreidel, learn about Hanukkah and the menorah, come on down to Purdue Hillel, located on State Street. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Julie Villanova.
Let's now turn it over to Krista with our final look at weather.
Well, thank you. And of course, we want to get back to that weather trivia. The question was, what is the wind speed limit that is applied when setting athletic sprinting and jumping records? Is it A, 1 meter per second, B, 2 meters per second, C, 3 meters per second, or is it D, 4 meters per second? And the answer is B, 2 meters per second. According to the International Association of Athletics Federation competition rules, sprint and jump performances for which the measured wind speeds are in excess of 2 meters per second are deemed illegal, and they cannot be ratified for record purposes. It's really interesting. Learned a little bit tonight. Now tonight, though, we're going to be mostly clear. Very chilly, though. Luckily, we are going to be dry. Our winds are going to be light out of the southwest at 5 miles an hour. Now, with this lack of cloud coverage tonight, we are going to cool off pretty quickly. We'll be at 39 at 8 o'clock, dropping down to 33 by midnight. We'll see 31 right around 2 a.m. And then our overnight low getting down into the mid-20s for most places. 26 here in Lafayette, 27 in Rensselaer. We're going to see 29 out in Champaign. We'll also see 25 in Kokomo and 29 for the overnight low in Indianapolis. Now, tomorrow, though, we are expecting lots of sunshine. It's been a nice break from the wet and gloomy weather we've had the past couple of weekends. We'll start off pretty cool, though. Right around 8 a.m. we'll be at 31, but by noon climbing up to 46 degrees. Now keep in mind that the average high temperature for this time of year is 43 degrees. So by noon we'll already be there, and we'll just keep going. We'll reach our high temperature of 53 by 4 o'clock tomorrow. Actually, we'll get 1 degree higher. We'll see 54 for the high temperature here in Lafayette. In Rensselaer, we'll see 52, 51 for the high in Warsaw and in Kokomo, and 53 in Indianapolis. Now, as we head into the evening, we'll see some cloud coverage rolling in and out of the area, but we will still be mostly clear right around 11, maybe some partly cloudy skies. But as we head later into the evening, we do get a bit more cloudy, and we do see some cloudier skies as we head into the early morning. Now, I do see this model is a little bit more overdone. This is the North American model, but we do have lots of sunshine heading into the rest of the afternoon, and as well as we head into Saturday night, still going to see some clearer skies. Now, rest of your 7-day forecast looking pretty good. Sunday, not quite as warm as Saturday, only a high of 50 degrees. Then Monday through Tuesday and Wednesday have a bit more cloud coverage, but we are still looking to stay dry through the first half of the week. Wednesday getting only up to 48, but we are still above the average. Chances of rain return by Thursday with a high of 50. A little bit higher chances of rain on Friday, the high of 55.
Well, who would have known that an award-winning winery sits just 15 minutes away from our very own campus? On this week's edition of One Tank Trips, we are out here at Wildcat Creek Winery to learn a little bit about the winemaking process, as well as maybe try some of the wines for ourselves. Now, do remember that you must be 21 or older to participate. With over 90 distilleries and counting spread out around the state of Indiana, who knew that we have an award-winning winery right in our own backyard? Wildcat Creek Winery has won honors such as Indiana Wine of the Year, Indiana Treminette, Wine of the Year, and multiple best-in-class wines. But winery owner Rick Black says that it's often the customer feedback that he treasures the most.
And she said, "They like your wine." But I mean, that celebration was amazing. And when he got to one of the wines, it happened to be that Chamberson I was talking about, and he didn't know what it was. He hadn't had it before, but he smelled it and tasted it. And he took his glass and threw it up in the air and yelled, "Cherries." And, you know, it was like almost more than I could take.
And at Wildcat Creek, the whole process, aside from growing the grapes, is done on-site with their expansive property that includes the distillery, packaging, and distribution centers. But for Rick and many other winemakers, the creation of wine is more of an art, making sure that all of the flavors are in perfect harmony.
An orchestra, when you hit that perfect balance, it's you can't hear any of the instruments more than another. So
the winery offers tours of its production and fermentation facilities, as well as a wine tasting. Co-owner and tasting director Kathy Black says that you can really make a whole day out of your experience.
Come out during those open hours and we have free wine tasting. If you want a tour, best to call ahead so that we have somebody here. You can come, you can bring a picnic with you, you can bring friends. We really do welcome Purdue students. We love for them to come out here and you know, take a break from studying and get out and kind of relax a little bit.
The winery is open every day of the week and their hours can be found on their website. So if you're looking to uncork and unwind, the Wildcat Creek Winery is just a 15-minute drive from campus and is open every day. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm...
Who knew we had an NPR radio station in our very own Elliott Hall of Music?
Reporter Island Sapahi has the story.
Down the stairs in Elliott Hall, you may have passed by a sign with the letters WBAA. Behind its doors is one of Purdue's hidden gems. The WBAA radio station is the longest continuously operating radio station in Indiana, having been licensed on April 4th, 1922. Its long history is showcased within the studio to show how WBAA has evolved since the 1920s. Today, WBAA is known as the Voice of Purdue, and its signal reaches an audience of 2.5 million people. The WBAA radio station is equipped with multiple voice studios, a dedicated staff of reporters and radio announcers, and multiple Purdue students interested in broadcasting.
Hi, my name is Greg Kustraba. I'm the content director at WBAA Public Radio, and I think radio is relevant, particularly public radio, in bringing issues of importance to people through a means that they don't need to pay for. You have to pay for a newspaper, you have to pay for magazines, cable TV. Radio you don't have to pay for. We're on a model at WBAA where we hope that our listeners do pay a little bit, but they don't have to, and that's one of the really wonderful things about radio is we're able to bring you news, information, music, enjoyment, pleasure, important issues of the day, and we do that on the radio for free.
WBAA is on 101.3 FM and AM 920.
For Fast Track, I'm Island Sapahi.
Did you know the Indianapolis Zoo was the first in the nation to host a holiday lights event? They kicked off their 47th year of this beloved tradition on November 29th. But not to worry, because they'll be featuring their lights show every Wednesday through Sunday until January 3rd. The zoo opens at noon and the lights begin at 5 p.m. until 9 o'clock. The night features LED light displays, caroling by the fireside, hot cocoa, and even a special visit from Santa Claus himself on December 23rd. You can visit IndianapolisZoo.com for ticket sales and more information.
Well, this is our last edition of Fast Track for the fall semester, but tune in next week to see our Best of Fast Track edition. I'm Rachel Bibler.
And I'm Taylor Briscoe. Thank you for joining us and have a happy holiday season.